The Bluebell Railway Volume 2 programme visits the 2005 Giants of Steam event held over the weekend of the 22nd and 23rd of October, when the guest engines brought in were Southern Railway Bullied rebuilt Merchant Navy class Pacific, number 35005 Canadian Pacific, and London Midland and Scottish Railway IVEC Class 2 Mixed Traffic 262 tank locomotive, number 41312 from the Mid-Hants Railway. Home-based engines supporting the guests were Great Western Railway Collet Duke Dog 440, number 9017 Earl of Berkeley, London Brighton and South Coast Railway Billington Class E4060 tank, number 32473, Southern Railway Bullied Streamlined West Country Class Pacific, number 21C123 Blackmore Vale, British Railways Riddles Standard Class 4 Mixed Traffic 460, number 75027, and British Railways Riddles Standard Class 4 Mixed Traffic 264 tank, number 80151. The programme starts on Saturday the 22nd of October at Horsted Cairns, where Bullied Merchant Navy Class Pacific, number 35005 Canadian Pacific, runs into Platform 3 with the 11am service from Sheffield Park, where it passes the 10:57am service from Kingscote, hauled by Southern Railway Bullied Streamlined West Country Class Pacific, number 21C123 Blackmore Vale, at rest in platforms 4 and 5. With the road ahead clear, Blackmore Vale departs for Sheffield Park. At 11:43am, the mixed train arrives from Kingscote, hauled by London Brighton and South Coast Railway Billington Class E4060 tank, number 32473, piloted by London Midland and Scottish Railway IVEC Class 2 Mixed Traffic 262 tank, number 41312. Moving down the line to Sheffield Park, we see 35005 Canadian Pacific returning from Kingscote at 12:40pm. At 12:45 p.m, given a clear road, number 32473 pilots 41312 at the head of the mixed train, comprising of a 6-wheel milk tank wagon, Southeastern and Chatham Railway 100-seaters, numbers 1098 and 971, London Brighton and South Coast Railway Bowden First, number 7598, a Southern Railways passenger brake van, and the London and North Western Railway Observation Saloon, number 1503, heading for Kingscote. After travelling to Kingscote, we see 35005 Canadian Pacific running round its train, and couple up to form the 2:32 p.m. departure to Sheffield Park. Back at Horsted Canes, 21C123 Blackmore Vale, built at Brighton Works in 1946 and carrying the Atlantic Coast Express headboard, departs with the 2:54 p.m. service to Kingscote. Drifting past the down home signal towards Leamland Bridge on the approach to Horsted Canes, Great Western Railway Duke Dog 440, number 9017 Earl of Berkeley, pilots British Railway Standard Class Format Traffic 460, number 75027, at the head of the 3:07pm service from Kingscote. Negotiating the reverse curves on the 1 in 63 climb between Leamland and Horsted House bridges, 32473, Piloton 41312, head for Kingscote. At the rear of the train is the railway's London and North Western Railway's observation saloon, number 1503, built in 1911 for use on the scenic Conwy Valley line between Blaenau Festiniog and Llandudno. Returning from Kingscote, passing under Horsted House Bridge, 21C123 Blackmore Vale drifts down the 1 in 63 gradient towards Horsted Canes down home signal, where it is routed into platform 4. In the late afternoon, 35005 Canadian Pacific lifts the 3:45 p.m. departure from Sheffield Park up the gradient away from Horsted Canes and passes under Horsted House Bridge bound for Kingscote. On the following day, Sunday the 23rd of October, 32473 was rostered to work with British Railway Standard Class 4 Mixed Traffic 264 tank, number 80151. The pair are seen heading the 12:10 p.m. service from Sheffield Park towards Birch Farm Foot Crossing, heading for Working up the 1 in 100 gradient near Birch Farm, 41312 heads the 12:42 p.m. service from Kingscote, formed of the mixed The 12:45 p.m. service from Sheffield Park was hauled by an unusual pairing of 9017 Earl of Berkeley piloting 21C123 Blackmore Vale, seen here at Birch Farm Foot Crossing, heading for Kingscote. Crossing New Combe Bridge with the 1:17 p.m. departure from Kingscote. 80151, Piloton 32473, designed by Billington and built at Brighton Works in 1896, passes the site of the former West Hoathly station at the head of the 1:17 p.m. departure from Kingscote. At the head of the 1:25 p.m. service from Sheffield Park, 35005 Canadian Pacific carries the Atlantic Coast Express headport as it exits Sharpthorne Tunnel, bound for Kingscote. On its return from Kingscote, 9017 Earl of Berkeley, pilots 21C123 Blackmore Vale past the site of the former West Hoathly station, now a storage yard for ballast and sleepers, required for the 2-mile extension to East Grinstead. Exiting the 780-yard long Sharpthorne Tunnel, 41312 heads for Kingscote with the 2 p.m. service from Sheffield Park. Returning to Horsted Canes, we see 35005 Canadian Pacific in the background, departing for Sheffield Park, before making an unscheduled stop due to the platform staff noticing an unsecured carriage door handle. Whilst this was being remedied, E4 tank number 32473 pilots 80151 away from platform 3 and under Leamland Bridge with the 2:54 p.m. departure to Kingscote.
It's like going over 90.
Seen returning from Kingscote, 41312 passes under Horsted House Bridge. The locomotive has been working at the railway for most of the year, having been hired to haul the spoil trains from the cutting north of Kingscote and helping with the rebuilding of the extension back to East Grinstead.
No, it'll be 10 minutes before.
In the mid-afternoon, GWR Duke Dog number 9017 Earl of Berkeley was rostered to pilot 75027 to Kingscote. On arrival at Horsted Canes, Earl of Berkeley was found to be running a hot axle box. The loco was promptly uncoupled from the train and is here running forward to clear the down home signal before setting back into platform 2 to prepare for a return to the workshops at Sheffield Park. With Earl of Berkeley sidelined at Horsted Keynes, 75027 continues with its train to Kingscote, tackling the 1 in 63 gradient near Horsted House Bridge. Having run round its train at Kingscote, 80151 now pilots 32473 at the head of the 3:40 p.m. Kingscote to Sheffield Park service, passing under Horsted House Bridge and approaching Horsted Keynes down home signal. double-headed Bullied Pacific power was rostered on the 3:45 p.m. service from Sheffield Park, with 35005 Canadian Pacific piloting 21C123 Blackmore Vale, and is seen climbing away from Horsted Canes towards Horsted House Bridge. The 4:35 p.m. service from Horsted Canes, hauled by 1952 crew-built Ivet Class 2 Mixed Traffic 262 tank number 41312, passes under Leamland Bridge and heads for Kingscote. In the late afternoon, with the autumn sun low in the sky, the pair of Bullied Pacifics returned from Kingscote, entering the station at 17:03 p.m, with Canadian Pacific piloting train engine Blackmore Vale. Standard Class 4 mixed traffic 264 tank, number 80151, saw occasional service over the Bluebell line between Lewes and East Grinstead in BR service prior to the closure of the line in 1958. Now, following restoration from scrapyard condition, it is able to continue over the route and is seen here departing from Horsted Keynes for Kingscote with the 4:55 p.m. service from Sheffield Park.
The other thing he's suggested that go back to the original idea where they run from Bridgeville down to
As the station announcer acknowledges the arrival of the Sheffield Park service from Kingscote, Ivet tank locomotive number 41312 draws its train into platforms 4 and 5 at Horsted Keynes.
in one respect it's right, 200,000 is your money and 30,000 enthusiasts, blah blah blah. But it's the enthusiasts that come up to do the differences in the road. They can't see it. They can't see it. Mainly.
Hauling the last round service of the Gala weekend, the 5:30 p.m. from Sheffield Park, 75027 completes the 1 in 75 climb from Sheffield Park and draws its train to a halt on platform 3. With a clear road to Sheffield Park 41312 departs from Horst of Canes at 5:47 p.m. with the penultimate service of the day, bringing the 2005 Autumn Giants of Steam Gala to a close.